Sorry if this is anti-Semitic, but I think it's wrong to burn children alive. Notes from the edge of the narrative matrix. Israel is burning children alive in Gaza. And call me an anti-Semitic, Jew-hating, Nazi terrorist lover if you must, but I happen to believe that's wrong. Now that it's been made clear that Israel's goal in Gaza is the complete ethnic cleansing of all Palestinians, Israel apologists have been shifting from bleating about hostages and Hamas to arguing that ethnic cleansing is actually fine and good, which makes sense. That's really the only argument they can make at this point. Never forget that the U.S. Congress gave Netanyahu dozens of standing ovations during a single speech while he was in the middle of perpetrating history's first live-streamed genocide. This is who they are. It will always be who they are. Israel has done more to promote hatred toward Jews in the last year and a half than Stormfront has in its entire existence. No white supremacist propaganda will ever be as effective at spreading hatred against Jews as openly mass-murdering children under a Star of David flag. Support for Israel used to be the overwhelmingly dominant opinion in the Western world. Luckily, that's changing, but the fact that this was the case until Israel exposed itself shows you really can't just go along with majority opinion on any issue. You need to think for yourself. Ignore what the crowd says. Ignore people who scream at you for disagreeing with their position. Look at the raw facts, as free from your own cognitive biases as you are able, and have the courage to stand on your own if necessary. Gaza is such an easy moral issue to get right that there's no way anyone who gets it wrong isn't a shitty person in other areas of their life as well. I feel sorry for anyone who has interpersonal relationships with Israel supporters, because they'd suck to be around. World Food Program Director Cindy McCain is saying that she has seen no evidence of Hamas stealing aid entering Gaza. Israel's one and only argument for continuing to block aid to Gaza is being publicly debunked by a member of one of the most pro-Israel families in U.S. politics. The U.S. has reportedly delivered some 90,000 tons of weapons to Israel since October 2023. I mostly focus on the Gaza genocide these days, but sometimes figures like this make me zoom out a few clicks and think about how batshit insane our civilization is as a whole. Just think about how much good we could do in the world if we weren't pouring resources into evil shit like this. Murdoch-owned publication The Australian came after me the other day for tweeting, quote, 2 Israeli embassy staff getting shot in Washington, D.C. is less newsworthy than tens of thousands of Palestinians being killed in Israel's genocidal land grab. It is less important, it deserves less attention, it is not the main story. Israel's genocide in Gaza is the main story, end quote. They called me a, quote, journalist in scare quotes, which I guess is supposed to be an insult. But coming from the Murdoch press, it can only be seen as a compliment. According to the official Western narrative, Americans becoming violently radicalized by a U.S.-backed genocide is a bigger issue than the U.S.-backed genocide. According to the official narrative, university protests against a transparent ethnic cleansing operation are a greater concern than the transparent ethnic cleansing operation. According to the official narrative, Western Zionist Jews feeling emotionally upset about opposition to a modern-day Holocaust is a more urgent problem than a modern-day Holocaust. All of our institutions are backwards and evil. Our media, our politics, our education system, our manufacturers of mainstream culture. This should be clear to everyone by now. Every historical evil we were taught never to repeat is being repeated by our own rulers. Everything we were taught to fear about the countries that the Western Empire hates is true of the Western Empire. Every dark future we were warned about in dystopian fiction is true of the dystopia we are living in presently. We live in a nightmare of a civilization, under an empire that is fueled by human blood. The closer you examine it, the uglier it gets. This cannot be allowed to continue. It must not be allowed to continue. The empire must fall.